When it comes to the situations that are happening in the black community, I'm sorry, if you're trying to fix the black community, you're going to run into three kinds of white people. Those that are trying to physically keep black people in the situation that they're in, those that are financially keeping black people in the situation that they're in, and those that want mental control, want to be able to tell black people what they can and cannot do. Okay? And so when you have these so-called white friends, I want you to think about what it took for 10,000, 1,000, 100,000, however many it was. I want you to think about how what they had to do, how many blacks they had to get to go along with them in order to begin the slave trades, in order to infiltrate black villages, black tribes, black kingdoms. Which blacks did they have to go to in order to get that done? Which blacks let them in? Are you one of those kinds of blacks that if we had a black community and we had everything, black education going and all that good stuff, are you one of those that would allow whites back in to start the whole process and the whole situation all over again? If you got back a black country, or if you built a black country, I hear a bunch of you guys talking about, you need a black nation, you need to create your own black nation, you need to do this, you need to do that. But before you start working on all that, you need to ask yourself, which black person do you most relate to as far as our ancient ancestors? Because we had three kinds of ancestors. We had those that, for some reason, fell for it. They fell for the craziness that white folks were popping up and suddenly saying. And you got white people coming to black countries and saying different things. There are black people that just fell for it. They believed the things that were being said. You also have black people that didn't fall for it. They was like, oh, no, no way. And then, of course, you had children who were fascinated by it and were manipulated into actually falling in love with white people and wanting to be around and with white people so much. And I see that as I'm looking and reading the different things that you guys are sending me on these internet sites. I'm seeing the same thing. We are going to deal with an issue that you guys had while I was down. And over the course of time, we're going to go through a whole list of things, questions you had, different things that you would ask me. I told you that I used to tell you that if you had a question for me, just write it down and you send it to me and I will answer you back. So you continue doing that even when I was down. So a lot of you have a lot of questions that you wrote down over the time that I was down, that we're going to, over the next 52 weeks, we're going to try and get through. But today we're going to talk about, I told you, how you can really challenge yourself as far as the things that black people are lacking in. And I have a lot of advocates that have a huge problem with the thought of black people being inferior. And so when it comes to fixing the black community, if we can't tell the truth, if we can't face things the way they are, then you can't fix them. It's as simple as that. So if, let's say, when it comes to technology, if you have a bunch of black advocates, and while you guys are on these different sites, You should also be working toward building your own within that structure, so that it is based on just you talking to other black advocates. I had a question that was asked of me today, and about the sounds in the videos. People were saying that they really love having me back and having me back teaching and educating, and that they were having a difficult time, though, the sounds that are in the background. And they kept asking. They said they can still hear the information that I'm giving, but they wanted to know what the sound was that was in the background. I told you guys from the beginning that we're going to do this the same way that we would be doing it if the children were doing it, the same way if a senior citizen had an older camera and was doing this. So we're not going to be doing this based on some elaborate setup or some soundproof booth. I told you I want you to be able to understand that we can do a ministry absolutely anywhere. I told you can do it in a broom closet, school bathroom, and under the bridge, on the sidewalk, in your car, wherever. And you need to be ready to deal with whatever noises. We could be doing a ministry show. We could do it on a park bench, and you're going to hear buses in the background. You're going to hear children playing if we do it at a playground. There's so many different situations where you're going to hear things. You're going to hear phones ringing. You're going to hear people talking. You're going to hear a lot of different things. But to answer that question, a lot of you don't know why it's very difficult for me when I'm doing these shows. I don't have enough blood. I guess that's the bottom line of it, the long and the short of it. I don't produce enough blood, and I also lose too much blood. So I have to have a heater going in the background. It has to be going full blast. They try to, if I turn the heat off, then in about 10 minutes I get really cold. And when I get cold, I get extreme pain. So the sound that you hear in the background is the heater. And I actually kind of like to challenge people. I really do. And I like to challenge advocates. When I'm doing these things, even before I went down, people know I was the kind of person that always challenged you. And if you're looking for, the best quality video, the best quality show, there are a lot of sites and a lot of different people that you can get this information from that I'm giving you. If you're looking for the information, when I do this, I'm looking for those advocates that are about fixing the black community. And when you're about fixing the black community, I mean really about it, you don't let anything get in the way. You're listening for the information. And those advocates that go through what they have to go through to get the information, those are the ones that I'm going for. Those are the ones that I can really, really work with and deal with. So when I leave things the way that they are, it weeds out a lot of people that really aren't that serious about the situation. They're just either just looking, or listening to be listening, or they're listening just to criticize or whatever, and that's fine. I don't really have a problem with that at all. But what I'm looking for is those that are really, really serious about fixing some of this stuff. And for those that are, I know them instantly, because I have people that come to me and say, I like the video, and they start talking about the sound in the background or the quality of the video or whatever. And then I have those that come to me, and many of you know who you are. You come to me and you're like, wow, I didn't know that information about the police, or that information about the city, or about we're going to deal with a lot of different things, even the religious stuff. I have religious people that come that talk to me send me stuff over the past week, and they're like, I actually started the task that you told us to start, and I'm already amazed. I prefer to challenge you. If you can't get through it because the sound quality is just too much for you, I can understand that. That's fine. That's not a problem. But for those of you that don't care anything about that and just trying to get the information to fix the things that you've been either stuck on or that you've been working on, but you need to take to the next level, you're the ones I'm looking for. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of clear that up. When you guys hear me when it's hotter or it starts getting warmer, we may be able to turn the heater off. But when it starts getting warmer, hopefully I'll have enough strength by then, and you'll still hear a bunch of stuff, because I'll be, I might be sitting on a piece of newspaper on the sidewalk and, doing a ministry, talking to some homeless people. And you're going to hear all kinds of sounds. You're going to hear cars going past. You're going to hear, horns blowing. And so if that's a problem for you, if that's bothering you, then you might walk away from this particular site or this particular show right now, because I can tell you, when we start dealing with the things that are going on with children and teenagers, with the defect slave trade, you never know what my teenagers might say. We're trying to bleep out anything. When I'm talking to the young people on the corner, they tell it like it is. You might hear them say pretty much anything. We're going to be dealing with people at elementary schools, so you can hear a baby crying. You can hear my little ones not so happy, crying, or whatever the situation. You're going to be hearing a lot of noises in the background. My senior citizens, you'll hear them say, "What?" If they can't hear you, that may bother you. I really don't know what to tell you to expect as we're doing these shows. Those of you the few of you that know me, know that I'll do a show in a museum, I'll do a show outside a museum, I'll do a show at a festival, I'll do a ministry show, pretty much anywhere. So hopefully you'll be okay. Those of you that just can't take it, like I say, there's plenty of different sites that you can go to and deal with where you can get pretty much the same kind of information. It may not be presented to you all in its exact same way, but it's all basically advocates trying to break things down for you so that you have the information and the tools you need to fix some of this stuff. But I hope that answers a couple of those issues about the sound.